Sissoko, Saka, Anthony! Salah, beautiful from Aubameyang! Bang! God! There goes Haaland, he's on it.
What's going on? What's cracking, people? Welcome to this week's edition of the Locker Room right here, Top 6 Fan TV. Fantastic action from a jam-packed weekend. Super Sunday was the biggest day of the weekend. And with me to reflect on that is Mr. Jonah, Liverpool man. Jonah, you could say what's up.
How is it, guys? How are we doing?
Brilliant. Glad to see you've gone back to the old school jersey, not the cast one from this season.
Yeah, man. That one has bad luck. I threw it
The results
far.
have started trickling. Have started trickling in, man. Jonah, you're the bad open. Welcoming Ben to the show. Arsenal man, Ben. What's up?
We're on top of the league. That's what's up.
Brilliant. The Aston fans are enjoying it. The mic drop. Unfortunately, the elephant... Unlike the mic drop, man, elephant has jumped to drop, man.
He continues to sit on that tree.
On top of the tree.
For one more week at least.
One more week at least. Let's see what happens. And if you're just joining us, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to hit the like button, and we will get straight into the action, starting in London still, but with Mr. Jonah's team visiting the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Fantastic result for Liverpool. Liverpool coming back to life, resurrecting, as you would say, running out 2-1 winners there, leaving Antonio Conte wailing, and brilliant result there. Jonah, Mo Salah with 2 goals. I don't know. These teams are making a habit of gifting Salah goals from the goalkeeper's kickoff. I don't know how they keep doing it. Guys don't learn their lesson from City. But Salah getting the goals there. What was your take? Of course, Kane, the only man who scores for Spurs, scored. But your take on the game, Jonah?
I'll be honest. Even before in the early days of the season, even before we were struggling properly, I wasn't looking forward to this game. I wasn't looking forward to Spurs either home or away, because those guys play very negative football. I wish the Spurs guy was here to tell us his opinions on that, because I have never seen football like that. The only guys that come close to playing equally negative football is Chelsea, but at least they try a bit. Sometimes they'll attack you. Fair play to them, though. In this game, they actually tried to attack, and I think it's because we scored them very early, so they had to come out, and they're second half team, and the game was very nervy till the very end. But I think we are slowly getting back into form or into some kind of rhythm, especially with Salah getting form. You know, if your top players are playing well, then the team will do well and gives confidence to the rest of the team. It started in the Champions League. Salah started picking up form in the Champions League. I remember it was a hat-trick against, I think, Rangers. And ever since then, he has scored in almost every game. For us who kept the faith in fantasy football, we're starting to reap the rewards. You guys who dropped him, you're facing
Gabriel Jesus.
But yeah, I'm feeling a bit happy. And World Cup is coming. We can take some time. Some of our players aren't going. Salah himself isn't going for World Cup. I think I just saw the Brazilian squad list. Firmino isn't going. So they can rest. And we'll come back. It's going to be very different. And, going back to, we were talking about the elephant on top of the tree. Arsenal, yes, are doing very well. But we know one thing with consistency is you have to keep playing games. The World Cup is going to affect that flow. We don't know how the World Cup is. This is the first time. Usually we have AFCON that disrupts us with a few players going out, but now it's the World Cup. There's going to be entire teams not playing for, how long is it, a month? We don't know how that's going to affect us now, but let's wait and see.
I don't know. Ben, the guys, Jonah makes a fair point because, I mean, the guy is going to be chilling, watching the World Cup while training and waiting for the rest of the chasing pack to come back. Is going to be, you're looking at Mo Salah, Bobby Firmino, you're looking at Mr. Haaland himself. Haaland, I mean, the guy, 18 goals. The guy is going to be resting for a full month. And our beloved Gabriel Jesus, who has not scored for 9 games, is going to come back crocked. And the elephant will start to climb down by itself, I believe. Your take, Ben, though, on this match. Liverpool dominant.
Of course, like Jonas Jazzy, I think that display by Liverpool was vintage from them. They have decided to go back to the basics, play the long balls, and then just drop their quick forwards behind the defense. They've realized that they cannot play through the midfield, so they just have to drop balls behind. It worked against Manchester City, and it proved again against Tottenham Hotspurs. I mean, Tottenham, of course, we definitely know that they're a second half team, but they're injury prone. You see, they're definitely missing Richarlison. They're missing Son as well, and Harry Kane is is left as a one-man attack. But still, you could see from his goal that all he needs is one chance. I think Liverpool definitely has been hurt with fluidity and cohesion. They haven't yet gotten over the sale of Sadio Mane, and they're trying to find ways on how to play him. And you can see Nunes now, who basically be leading the attack. Now he's coming off the wing because Diaz is injured. So they're still tinkering with their formation. And now you can see they're also now up for sale as of today. So a lot of changes are happening with Liverpool. I don't see them stabilizing until the next season, but I'll say that they do know how to. This is a good win for them. They had a scrappy loss to Leeds. So what I can say is it's a good game for them. It's a good win. It's a good win for them. We just have to wait and see if they can be consistent. They haven't been very consistent this season. So we just wait and see. Only one more game until the World Cup break. So we see how they finish it off. And then afterwards, we see them in December on Boxing Day. But vintage display from them.
Brilliant, Ben. Jonah, Ben made a point I keep hearing about Liverpool not having recovered from the sale of Mo Salah. Darwin Nunes slowly, Sadio Mane, sorry. Darwin Nunes picking up slowly by slowly, he's taking shots from the center line these days. I don't understand. We're still waiting to see him come to life, and of course another spanner in the works there. Liverpool, the news coming out today that the owners have put Liverpool club up for sale. So that's another thing I want your reaction on. But first of all, money or no money? What's going on there? Are you feeling the impact?
I'm going to say it like this. Obviously, this goes without saying. A Liverpool fan watches Liverpool games more than any other fan. Rival fans want to believe that Sadio Mane has affected us. And yes, I'm not saying he hasn't, but it's not as bad as you think. If anything, I think that a player we haven't replaced till now is Gini Wijnaldum. Gini Wijnaldum used to play on the right side of midfield or on the left side, either, sometimes even in the center. And he was that player that would do the dirty work, and he never used to get injured. I think I saw some statistic that he only missed 2 Premier League games in the whole time he was with us. Sadio Mane is also the same in a sense that he also never used to get injured. He was consistent. But in terms of impact on the pitch, yes, Sadio Mane was a game winner. But in terms of a like-for-like replacement, I think Luis Diaz is a like-for-like replacement. Has he yet done what Sadio was doing? No, obviously not. But at least there, as a fan, I can say they have tried to replace Mane. And they did it in advance. They did it actually when Mane was still there. It's going to take some time. Sadio also took some time. If you check Sadio's numbers, it took him some time to become the player he was. Luis Diaz, he'll get. I'm very confident. What we are actually lacking is midfield. We failed to place Gini. Henderson is 30, I think 31, 32. Fabinho is 28. Thiago is 31. Keita is 48.
48, man.
Chamberlain has been glass for like the last 10 years. We have a problem in midfield, and Klopp has an issue with replacing players. So it's easy to look at Sadio, but just as well, we could have sold Salah, and that would be an argument. They'll say, oh, you guys sold Salah, and that's the issue. It could have been that. It could have been either Salah or Mane. We made a choice. We renewed Salah's contract and didn't renew Mane's. This is what happens in football. You lose players. At least he didn't go to a rival. Matthew, I'm sure you remember very well losing Alexis Sanchez, though he had kind of died off in the end. But you remember RVP. At least Mane went somewhere else.
Yes.
Oh, no, and the sale.
And the sale, exactly. I was going to nudge you on that.
Yeah. I mean, as a fan, I can't deny what FSG did for us. Our most recent successes happened throughout their ownership. Some of the online fans will tell you, no, they are the worst. American owners are terrible and they don't invest in this and that and that. But a lot of their success, a lot of the best players I've had in the last 6 years have come from them.
Yes.
So you have to give them that. But there has to always be progression. Naturally, with the way world football is going and when we have these countries that are sponsoring teams, I wouldn't mind having an Arab owner. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we get an Arab.
Well, rumor has it that Abramovich is in the market for a club. So keep your fingers crossed. You never know.
I'll take him. I know it means we'll have to have a coach maybe every two or one season, but at least we'll buy players.
Yeah, you guys at that rate, if Abramovich takes up, Liverpool might end up with Mitchell. But anyway, moving on. Fantastic game at the weekend, still in London. London was action-packed. It was buzzing, and there was some more action at Stamford Bridge this time. Arsenal visiting Chelsea, 1-0 to the Arsenal, as the famous line goes, and true to the Arsenal tradition, the score did end 1-0, but it might be a scoreline that doesn't reflect the dominance I believe Arsenal had, or how poor Chelsea was during the game. Ben, your views on that game, and what does that 3 points do for the Arsenal?
3 points against your big six are always very important, and we have managed to get so far after the top six. We have played 4, and we've actually gotten 3 wins and lost 1. I'll take the 3 points out of Stamford Bridge. It's a difficult place to go to. And you could see that of course, I couldn't see where the goal was going to come from. But of course, it came from a set piece, and we've been very brilliant with our set pieces. Apparently, there's talk that our set piece coach should even send an extension. He's key to all the goals that we're actually getting. I'll take the 3 points from Chelsea. It's very scrappy. And of course, I remember you were saying that Gabriel Jesus has not scored, but Gabriel Jesus is doing what Bobby Firmino used to do when he was still Bobby Firmino, be the one who does all the dirty work up front, putting pressure on the defenders. And you can actually see that through the pressure that he actually caused for all these defenders, and the result is that's where we actually end up getting the corner, and then we also scored from that set piece. So I'll say this: the thing about Arsenal is that they're playing brilliantly as a team. If you put them player for player against majority of the top 6, they have better players. You can't compare Saka to Salah. You can't compare Gabriel to Haaland. You can't compare Gabriel to Nunes. But what Arsenal is doing here is that they're playing as a team, and that's where they definitely know And that's what actually has taken them to the top. You look at, I like the point that that Jonah made about Wijnaldum missing, because yes, he actually has been their key. He was their key player and was never injury prone compared to what their midfield is. Our engine in our midfield right now is Xhaka, and you can, as much as actually he even just got nominated for Player of the Month. So you put us apart player for player against the top six, and we definitely are poorer than most of the top six teams. But as a team, they're playing in a system that the coach wants them to play in. And you could see that Chelsea, even if they had Sterling, they had Aubameyang, they had all these, they had Havertz, they just couldn't get past the defense that had Partey in front of it, that had Saliba, that had Gabriel. So they're playing as a team, and they just keep shocking us. The elephant keeps on staying on top of that tree. I keep on saying that what the most important thing after getting 3 points off the top six is making sure that now you get your next 3 points. And if we get the next 3 points against Wolves this weekend, then we can go into the World Cup break and just wait to see how it goes. Of course, news coming out today is that Gabriel and Martinelli have actually been called to Brazil. So, I mean, it's good for them. I mean, they definitely have worked hard for it, but you just don't want to see them go further into the tournaments where it hurts Premiership chances. I can't even believe we're talking about Arsenal contending for the title right now. It's been 18 years since we could actually say something like that.
Is it too early, Ben?
One game at a time. Like I said, one game at a time.
Jonah is laughing.
I mean,
as someone who has gotten closest to City over the last few years, Jonah is just laughing.
Guys, be confident. You can take it all the way.
One game at a time. One game at a time. We're now just waiting for Wolves. Let's go to the Molineux, and then we see what happens from there. And then we keep that, and then we move on. 1-0 to the Arsenal, 3 points in the bag. We wait for the next team. That's all I can say.
Brilliant. Jonah, this elephant. Tell me what your thoughts are about this elephant called the Arsenal that is stuck at the top of the tree.
Of course, all banter aside, if I'm being truly realistic as someone who has watched football for very many years, Man City are a very scary team. They're a very scary team that you have to be perfect. Like literally when I think our second game of the season or the first game, we did a draw with Fulham. And I was like, it's done. The title race is done. Like Man City are that dangerous that one draw and you call it off. You're like, we're done. Because them, they can go on a run of 18 games non-stop, wins.
Yes.
But you guys are
they
really
need Liverpool to do that.
I don't think so, actually. I think they can do it on their own. But you guys are showing champions' luck. Like City look like they're struggling in some games. But you guys in the games where you look like you're supposed to lose, you don't lose. Like you were supposed to lose that Leeds game. You didn't play well. Leeds were way better than you. But you somehow came out of it. There are those games where you can see it. As a I can't even say I'm a neutral, but as someone who is not truly invested in it, there are games where I'm like, Arsenal today are losing. Then boom, you win. Southampton game, you didn't play so well, you drew. You could have lost that game very easily. So you have champions luck with you, but City are still City. And unfortunately for you guys, this time where you're competing for the thing, there's this weird World Cup that's in the middle of the league. And it's definitely going to affect. The guys are going to come back, maybe not injured, but they may come back fatigued or something like that. Something will happen, or just losing momentum. And Arsenal actually has a very thin squad. You haven't had many injuries. I saw Tomisia, who got injured recently, but he wasn't even starting to begin with. Then Zinchenko has been in and out of the team. You've struggled with that left side of defense. But it's not been that bad. Like you haven't lost, say, 5 key players. Like some of us have lost 5 key players in the same moment. But that could all happen at any one moment, not even just from the World Cup. It could happen at any other moment in the season. and you lose certain key players, suddenly it all goes bad. But City don't care. City could lose 5 players and they still go on to win games. Yeah, that's really how I think about it.
Man, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's still early in the season, but like you said, Jonah, the World Cup is coming, and for me, the team with the greatest squad depth and luck is then going to benefit from that one. I think it's going to be a tight one. It's definitely going to be a tight one, but we will see what happens. For now, Arsenal sitting at top of the Premier League. And if you look at ideally what the table looks like, you're just 2 points ahead of Manchester City. Arsenal 34 points, City 32 points, 13 games played, both of them. Newcastle, people, we need to start talking about Newcastle. This Newcastle team is not losing, and they're actually winning by very healthy margins almost every game. So they are going to be a problem. They're in third place, 14 games played, 27 points. Then Spurs, 14 games played as well, a point behind. And then Manchester United, 13 games played, one less than those two, on 23 points. And the rest follow. Okay. Honorable mentions in 7th place, we have Chelsea, who 30 games played, 21 points, and then Liverpool trying to kick off their resurgence on 13 games played and 19 points, but firmly rooted to 8th spot. It's going to start getting interesting, and the sooner the likes of Brighton and Newcastle fall out of that top 6 space, the better it's going to be. Ben, your comments on Mr. Aubameyang's performance. I hope it was nothing personal.
Nothing personal. I like the dig, and nothing personal. He said he was back, but up now we're still looking for him. I think we've actually asked Saliba to empty his pockets so that Aubameyang can go back to his family. It was a tough time. It was a tough time for Aubameyang. You could see that he actually struggled to receive the ball. The one brilliant run he actually made inside the box, Havertz decided to just make a cross instead of kicking it back to the 45 where Aubameyang had made a beautiful run. He instead just crossed right in front of Ramsdale. 6 touches, I think 6 to 8 touches is what he had until he got yanked off in the 64th minute. It was rough for him. He was isolated. You can clearly see that he was all alone. He has lost the pace that he used to have, though you can see he's actually put up a lot of muscle. So he just didn't have steady supply. And you could see that the link between the midfield to the striking isn't there yet. But you could also say that they're also missing key players in Kante, in Chilwell. So they're really not that fluid. Reece James, they're really not that fluid, and you could see that they actually missed that. So the link up between the midfield and the striking force actually is hurting them. But better days ahead for them. I still think they'll come good when they actually settle in. Graham Potter, I think, is a great coach. I heard you talk about Newcastle and slipping out of the top 6, but that's a banana skin, and they're here to stay. They have depth, they have the money, and they seem to be winning convincingly. An average of four goals their past 2 games.
Yeah.
You really don't want to come up against them, and they're going to be rested for over 1 month because I don't think that many players going for the World Cup. So they're a tough team, and they're not about to slip out of the top 6. They're here to stay. But ugly return for Aubameyang. I'm glad he didn't get to score against us. So I hope he doesn't score against us again also at the Emirates. But it was good to see him not smiling. Yeah.
Very good. Jonah, you have not experienced the pain that Arsenal fans have gone through with the likes of Sanchez and Robin van Persie going to rival teams. So we were very relieved as Arsenal fans And moving on to a very interesting game there. City welcoming Fulham to the Etihad. Fulham without my beloved Alexander Mitrovic. I don't know what happened. Chap was in my fantasy first 11. I was shocked to see him out. I didn't get that SOS that he was injured, but still coming on and piling the pressure on the champions to, very many people's shock, putting Manchester City to the sword for quite some time. And Julian Alvarez, they are opening the scoring. This guy was touted as the next Aguero, and he actually does have something about him, something special. I think this guy Julian Alvarez, I quite rate him. But then City coming back, manic red card there for João Cancelo, another one who was in my fantasy team. I tell you, my fantasy suffered this weekend. Straight red card. Andreas Pereira going on to slot that away. And the game became tight. Manchester City there looking for a goal. Second half came on. Erling Haaland came on and had a goal disallowed by VAR, and you could sense something was going to happen. And very late on, very soft penalty. I don't know, Jonah, did you catch the game or check those highlights around the pen?
I did.
Very soft penalty in my view.
Okay, the Cancelo red, that shouldn't have been a red. And if I'm being very honest, the same thing happened in our game against Spurs. Trent did the exact same thing, and the ref said nothing. And that shows the inconsistency with Premier League refs. And actually, when Trent did it, my mind immediately rushed to the Cancelo thing, and I'm like, here we go. It's going to be a card for Trent.
It's going to be a red. Yes.
And honestly, we need a separate podcast to talk about Trent. But let's start the topic.
Oh, Trent.
Cancelo. So the Cancelo thing, it didn't make any sense to me. Like that's as we used to call it in school football days, a body check. It's just a 50-50. You check a guy. It's not like you kicked him or anything. It shouldn't have been anything.
Body.
But then at the same time, and this now goes back to my argument that Arsenal is having some luck. Oh well, City had to cheat to win the game. You saw De Bruyne dive.
Yeah.
Like that shows.
For all his brilliance, I think we can all forgive De Bruyne for one dive.
No, but that's my whole point, Matthew, is that De Bruyne has never been that guy to be desperate enough to dive. But if they're doing diving tactics right now, we're in November, they are doing diving things. It shows you how scared they are of Arsenal. They are desperate. They are willing to do anything to win. Like they were like, no. A draw can't work. We are going to De Bruyne to cheat. That was plain cheating. I couldn't believe it. Not De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva, yes. Actually, I can't think of any other dirty player in City apart from Bernardo. But De Bruyne, that was unbelievable. But it shows you how scared they are of Arsenal. And I can't wait for when you guys play each other.
No, it is going to definitely be an interesting one. Ben, I don't know what your take.
I hope the league is still tight by the time you play each other. When are you playing each other? Is it in Feb?
Man, that's like what?
I know the games are close.
Mid-January, we missed our first round game was postponed. And
we were lucky the first round game was postponed. Would have swallowed, I think, 4, because I think they just come off. I think they just come off a draw, and I think we're supposed to play them on Tuesday, but then we had the game postponed because we had to play PSV on Thursday. So we're lucky. They were actually going to mop the floor with us. I was actually very scared about that game. I hope by the time we actually play them, we definitely. Right now, we're growing in confidence as Arsenal. So By the time we actually play them, I think guys will say, bring them on. Yes, true. They really just showed pure class on Saturday, because to play 80% of the match when you're down 10 men and then you come up with 3 points, that's basically what a champion is all about. I must say though that there are 3 games I've seen them that they're actually supposed to be losing, and then Haaland comes to save them. The game against Crystal Palace, the game against Newcastle, and now against Fulham. When a team starts having such cracks early on, then you definitely see how valuable that Viking is to them, and he just can't stop scoring. Champions luck, that's what they have. And of course, like Jonas said, what Cancelo did, I think it wasn't a shoulder charge because he actually badged him from the back, and Trent actually also did the same thing yesterday. So, and this is the inconsistency we're seeing in the VAR. But I must say Cancelo is making so many mistakes of late. So you should definitely take him out of your fantasy team. You might as well just put there Trippier, because you definitely know at least he'll be consistent. He's making too many mistakes, Cancelo, right now. And if you actually look at even the game against Liverpool, he made more mistakes. So they
World Cup nerves. The guys have World Cup nerves.
And that's the thing. Majority of their players actually might go deep into the World Cup. Majority of their players. So we hope actually that they do. But it was a good win for them, and you can actually see what it meant for them. They also know that you have to pick up your early points for the World Cup, because when the World Cup is over, it's just going to be, it won't even be Premiership anymore. It's just going to be where the Gladiators used to fight. What's the place called?
The Rome. What's it called? Not auditorium. What is that?
Anyway, it's just going to be a Colosseum. It won't be football anymore. So good win for City. They definitely showed what it means to win. I still maintain it's theirs to lose, and putting the pressure on Fulham. You definitely saw that they showed how powerful that they are. That's 9 points they could have easily lost. 9 points they could have easily lost, and they have come back and gotten those. They've come back to win those games. So you just can't write them off until
it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah.
Thank you for your advice on replacing Cancelo, but Cancelo actually replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we all know Jonah knows how Trent has been going all season. So it's a rubbish season for me in fantasy.
Trent is suffering from the effects of heavy metal. You can't play heavy metal for at that pace. And like you said, missing Wijnaldum, who would actually drop back to cover Trent when he has run. So Trent is now just exposed. Yeah. So it's a combination of many things. So, the lad is going through a lot, but I definitely know, he also looks like he's tired as well. So, yeah.
And he also has World Cup pressure. He looks like he's nervous, by the way.
I don't think. Yeah, he might go. He might go for World Cup, I think. I think he goes for World Cup.
Trent, there are many injuries, so he'll have to go.
Yeah. Reece James is out. Kyle Walker is out.
Is out.
He got injured on the weekend.
Chilwell got injured.
They said he's okay.
Who?
They said Trippier said he's okay.
He said he's okay.
Yeah, Trippier is fine.
But still, without Chilwell, without Reece James, without Kyle Walker, he'll have to go.
Trent will definitely go. Trent has to go. I think they'll probably just push him up like on number 7 or something, but he will go.
He'll be on the bench. He'll be a support guy on the bench, but my goodness, the guy is suffering. I think we'll see the best of Trent after the World Cup. These are nerves for me.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say, but he has been, to be honest, he has been quite mesmerizing the last 3-4 seasons, offensively, more so than probably more so than defensively. Obviously, he had quite a bit of support, as you've mentioned. But we will pray for him. And moving on to the final game for the weekend that we're reviewing from the top 6, Aston Villa, Manchester United visited Birmingham at Villa Park, and this is what Manchester United came to do all game. It was a wrestling match, wrestling affair, Aston Villa coming out 3-1. As you can see, Lisandro Martinez, lifting a lot of his culprits. And then Cristiano Ronaldo also doing a stone cold Steve Austin shoulder charge. So it was we didn't see free flowing football from United, but we did see quite a bit of wrestling. 3-1 Aston Villa coming out winners. Of course, looking at that, when Aston Villa raced into a 2-goal lead, we're looking at it and all thinking, too early, United is going to come back, faggy time. And my goodness, we're shocked to see that United actually failed to come out. So it was quite interesting there for United. Jonah, I mean, what went wrong for United is this: they did look like they were on the up in the last few games, but the inconsistency is starting to creep in again. The frustration from all the big name players creeping in. And how about that for some interaction with the manager during the game? Your take on Manchester United and what do you think this is going to do for them this season?
Yeah, I mean, really personally, I enjoyed the game. I watched the whole of it. I kind of, not kind of, I knew they were going to lose. I knew it. When you play a team that has just got a new coach, there's what in the football world we all know as new coach bounce. You just don't want to play with the new coach. And the new coach is Unai Emery, who has a very good record against United. I actually put some small money on that game. I was so confident. I didn't think it would be that big of a. I thought maybe a decent 1-0 or 2-0. Yeah, but it was but you could tell from the beginning that the Villa players were up for it, while the United players were so frustrated, and that's why, like you said, they kept wrestling. But one of the things that United has been struggling with, which Chelsea as well has been struggling with, is choosing a consistent lineup. They keep changing things up. Yes, in fairness, they had some players missing.
Bruno Fernandes was injured. Yeah.
Bruno was suspended.
Oh, he was suspended. Yes.
Suspended, Bruno was suspended. I don't know what's going on with Sancho. I can't remember. But they just don't have a consistent lineup. Garnacho had a good game in the Europa League, and now they decided to start him. Elanga, who looked like he had been sold, suddenly reappeared. Everything is just not consistent. Maguire is back, but obviously they don't want to start him. They lost Varane. So yes, there's a bit of injuries, but they haven't had a good run with the same starting lineup, and I think it's affecting them because you're working with a new coach who has his own ways of doing things, and if you have different players playing all the time, they can't get to understand each other. But Lisandro Martinez, that guy is so, I don't even know what to say about him, man. I think he's walking on ice. Anytime now, if Premier League referees get a bias against
once they decide, you're done.
Yeah, it's over. Once they decide and say, okay, this is this kind of guy, like Xhaka, how Xhaka has been suffering with this for seasons. They just decide you're that guy that's messed up. Anything you do, they'll punish you. So far, it's been working for him. He's been getting away with it, but I think it can only last for so long. Yeah,
especially now that they're because post matches, reviews will happen, right? The referee bodies do look at these games and considering, the guy elbowed Leon Bailey twice, man. Lifted him up, brought him down, elbowed him. I was like, hey, what's going on here? Is this Rey Mysterio Jr.? Because obviously they have the same stature. But Ben, your take on United?
Mike Tyson had a saying that everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? And you can clearly see that that United, by the time they just got punched in the mouth quickly, like 2 quick goals, and then you can't recover from it. Exactly, and so all that frustration you could see from Martinez, you could see from Ronaldo, it's basically just frustration. Aston Villa pounced on them quickly, got 2 quick goals, and then they came back, and then Ramsey just came and sealed it. Just came and sealed it in the end. I mean, just knocked it out of the park. Player combinations, of course, are affecting them. I think when they had Varane and Martinez with Casemiro ahead of them, you could see that there was some bit of stability in the defense. But now with Varane out, I mean, they're just exposed. You could definitely see that they're just running at them right now. They still have to bring in a lot of players. And like you said, consistency, having the same consistent lineup, and I think the coaches do not have that yet. They're still trying to come up with different combinations. I still think that once Ten Hag figures out what his starting 11 is and he plays it consistently, he'll definitely be able to get results. I've seen the games that he got against Liverpool, the games he got against Aston. He knew where to hurt them. He has a very tactical approach to his games, so he knows how to set up his teams in a tactical manner. And kudos to Aston Villa. I mean, all I can say is that we thank Unai Emery in the words that used to torment us as when he was still our coach. Good evening, Manchester United.
Good evening.
So, yeah.
Well, that's a brilliant way to sign it up. United fans, as you've had, do have a good evening. And we will leave it at that for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Again, feel free to hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. Feel free to enjoy the action as well as the last few episodes that have been on the show. We will be back next weekend, same time, same place. Jonah, thanks for joining, for tuning in. We wish Liverpool well. Ben, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining. And hopefully by the time you come back onto the show, the elephant has built quite a bit of a treehouse and will be going nowhere. We look forward to a fantastic weekend ahead and have a good week. Bye-bye.